Hey y'all, conservative brother Daily, back with another daily rant. Today's topic is free Bevelyn Betty Williams. Free Bevelyn Betty Williams. As you can see, this is a photo of Bevelyn Betty. Those guys that don't know, she was a very outspoken conservative advocate. First time I came across her, she was actually featured in HBO Vice. Remember, if anybody remembers the HBO Vice show, The Investigative, uh, you know, so-called investigative journalism show for HBO. Came out in the early 2010s. I remember watching it. From about maybe early 2010s or so. I think they had like a 2016, 2017 feature, kind of black conservatives versus black liberals. So they were a little more center than Tim Pool used to work for them back in the day. They've since gone pretty far left, and they even had to kind of lay off, half their department or consolidate, just doing it, just uh, liberal pandering. But what's very disturbing is that I remember Bevelyn kind of being very outspoken, Trump supporter, speaking out heavily against BLM, throwing black paint on the BLM or the Pride stuff. Uh, Luckily, which I think is a bit extreme, but that's a sign of free speech. A little bit of defacing property, but at the same time, I watched the live stream. She pretty much live streamed um, a good portion of this 2020 protest outside of the abortion clinic in New York. And I may have to go back and watch it, but at the same time, I do not recall, maybe I'm wrong, I do not recall her literally blocking the entrance, being like a linebacker trying to prevent people from going in. You have every right to talk to people outside. And that's what she was doing. She wasn't blocking, trying to go back and forth, bob and weave with people. But basically, she is so outspoken. People cannot people cannot control her. They cannot, um, contain what she says or really counter her arguments. She just destroys people who literally try to debate her. They just walk away. And also, she's a mother. She's a young mother with a husband as well. So this is very this is the Christian persecution that yeah, we've been fearing all this time. Because once again, the if you just look at Antifa or the pro-abortion crowd, they do plenty of stuff. They have their Antifa people show up. They push on people. I've seen them pepper spray people in the street who are counter protesting, and yeah, there's plenty of evidence out there of all the stuff the Democrats and the Antifa and the left wing does that gets thrown under the rug. But simply, not only did Bevelyn pray in front of the abortion center, she was very loud, she was very active, but at the same time, she was letting people walk past. She was very vocal, she was debating people, but there was never at one point somebody was walking past and she was blocking the way. Now, she was maybe trying to get their attention as they walked in, but there was none of this blocking the way. So yeah, I got to go back and watch the video. But that's kind of how they play it because you see the same thing happening with the pro-life uh, Michigan folks, and basically it's just the same thing happened with the pro-life Michigan folks that have been round up, and they basically are getting these charges thrown at them. Where they're just praying, they're standing peacefully, and they always try to morph it in. Oh, they were blocking the way. So we're seeing more of this. Lifesite News does a great job of covering this. These are some smaller outlets, and we got to get this out, y'all, because it's gonna make Kamala look really bad. Free Bevelyn Betty Williams, because once again, they don't want to show what the Democrats are doing to persecute Christians, persecute anybody that takes a stand with them. And I made this example as well. What does Eric Adams, Bevelyn Betty Williams, and Richard Lewis Bloom have in common? Oh, they're all black, and they've all happened to just push back against one stance of the Democrats. And now you got uh, the first black mayor, Eric Adams, now being indicted for pushing back, speaking out against the migrant crisis. You have Bevelyn Betty, long big advocate on the against the abortion issue, speaking out, and look what they're doing to her. Now, Richard Lewis Bloom, those of you guys have been following, he was recently pushed out of the SCIU. He was SCIU union president, started speaking out during COVID against the COVID vaccine mandates, pushed not to have the members be forced to take the vaccine. And then more recently, he pushed for bipartisan regulations, basically calling out a lot of this money that keeps getting funneled into these Democrat candidates overwhelmingly. So what do these all three people have in common? Yeah, they're black, and most people just want to say, "Oh, they're black. That's why they're going after them." Like, no, you're black and you go around with the left wing agenda, you're good. You're celebrated and propped up. As soon as you're black and you go against one stance of the Democrats, you're persona non grata. And we see it happening over and over again. Once again with Eric Adams, Bevelyn Betty Williams, Richard Lewis Bloom. So this is just very disturbing times we're in. We just need to get the word out. Free Bevelyn Betty Williams. And we need to definitely continue to keep this up in the news, spread it, spread the message. Just get some traction online once again, and just show that hey, this is a result of the Biden-Harris administration. Okay, so yeah, this happened during 2020, technically when Donald Trump was still in office, but charges weren't brought up. Uh, I believe till after Biden was inaugurated. Maybe I might be wrong. I know she definitely may have uh, was already in some legal water, but you know, there's been Democrat lawfare against Christians. Even before Biden got in office, it's just been accelerated since Biden and Harris got in, who are anti-Christian, anti-black, and they're just all about whatever to keep themselves in power. And this is just another example where they claim Black Lives Matter, but they have no problem with the Planned Parenthood agenda, Margaret Sanger 100-year agenda, continue to kill black babies, and only Black Lives that matters is Black lives that are shot by white cops. They don't care anything about all the black babies and all our depopulation, and then tearing apart these families. Democrats have mastered the breaking apart of the nuclear family, and this is just another example. All right, I'm sorry, but yelling outside of an abortion clinic, not blocking anyone's way, that's not hurting anybody. Okay, so, all right, so that's all I got. I'll probably bring up more, give you more updates on this topic. But currently, she got sentenced I think, about a month ago. So yeah, and we're just trying to speak out, and there's a lot of Christians rallying around, and we're building a movement to try and get word about this. So I'll talk to you guys next time, and stay awake, not woke.